So what we gonna start with?
6 minutes after 8 o'clock, and they're squabbling again. No, I'm kidding. What's up, guys?
Good morning. I hope that was not fun.
No. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I just wanted to get. I said, let me get some of that. In studio color going there.
Oh Lord.
You know, with the small talk and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, Kortensia and I never squabble.
Never.
Yes. So, a pleasant day to everybody. I just want to say good morning and I hope that you are having a wonderful day this morning. I trust that if you are having a wonderful day, that you continue to have a wonderful day. If it's a bit, not as you like it, I hope that it gets better. Kortensia, how have you been?
I am doing quite fine. Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and to everyone that's listening to us abroad. Welcome to Island Tea. Azard, where's your tea this morning?
I have it in the car.
Oh, yeah, Lord, it's going to be cold by the time you get there.
No, not necessarily, I'm going to have I'll have to depart soon. So by 2 weeks, probably still be hot.
Oh, okay.
So wait, is the AC not working?
It's working. I don't know what's going on with me today. I'm feeling extremely hot.
Okay.
I hope it's not that time.
So, Kortensia, what has been on your mind? It's been a while since we've had you. You were here last Thursday, and now it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Wow.
Tell me, what's on your mind?
Well, my good co-host here, Jamsa, tell me you look at cricket.
No.
Oh my God, so neither of you? So you guys didn't look at Australia beating India after India would have whooped everybody's tail, and then they came back and they
lost. You may as well be talking about curling.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Cricket. Okay. I mean, when we have World Cup and we have T20, I pay some cursory attention, because we have a team and so on, but I don't really get cricket. It's boring most of the time. I mean, thank God for 2020 to make it a little more interesting.
Yeah, but as the ICC, it's 50 overs for that one. But you gentlemen, oh my gosh! So I'm in this talk alone. Okay, so
and
folks,
all that confused mid-long on and all these weird positions.
Before bat.
It sounds like astrophysics.
Or like before wicket or what LBW.
Yeah. I mean, what is
you're not into all of that.
No, I don't.
Oh
get
wow. Well,
I get glassy-eyed when people start to talk cricket.
Well, India lost. I feel bad for them because they even disappeared whilst the guys were receiving their trophies and the stands were quite empty. And as I saw an article that says 1.4 billion persons' hearts have been broken because India would have lost.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. That's the ironic thing about cricket, AZ. Like me and you, we don't pay attention, but it's like I think it's second most watched sport after soccer.
Yeah, and I mean there are a lot of persons who enjoy the cricket, so I can enjoy it through their enjoyment.
As long as the party stand.
How was it? Tell us. You said that Australia slaughtered India
in the last game.
Oh,
and mind you, Australia lost their first 2 games coming in, so Australia were like the underdogs because India was beating everybody. I want to believe they had a max amount of runs, almost 5 or 4 something. I can't remember exactly, but India was doing well. India reminds me of Guyana. How they would work so hard during, and then at the end they lose, but finally Guyana is no longer the bridesmaid, Guyana is the bride. But I feel bad for India, because I know they worked hard, and it's sad that they had to lose like that, and I know their fans were disappointed, because they were out in their numbers to support India.
I could imagine, and I could imagine because, there are so many cricket fans, and if you're a fan of anything, if your team is not doing well or as well as you think it should, then it comes with the emotion. Sometimes, even when you look at CPL here, we have our cricket, I look at that because,
saying it's
vested interest, and so I could imagine, the disappointment. But it's sports, it's games, it's competition. There's going to be somebody who wins, someone who loses. Just have to get you know what you did wrong, what could be done better, and just push forward from there.
I'm just sad that we were not in it, though. We were the inaugural champions in 1975, and then we won again in 1979. And it's sad that we were nowhere there this year to represent the lovely West Indies. West Indian cricket players, get your act together. I'm tired of you not being in things.
And people like Afghanistan, and that much I know.
Oh,
people like Afghanistan beating people.
I know.
You know, that's crazy. That's like St. Bart's beating St. Kitts in football or something crazy like that.
Small,
you know? Yeah.
What they say, big act. What is a small
acts cut down big tree.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. There we go. There we go. So you never know. Yeah. And did you hear of the results here in St. Kitts? Do we have a top student yet for Cape and C?
Yes. So we have the state scholar, and based on announcement, it is Anya Sitahal. I saw the articles and the release indicating that she is this year's state scholar. I don't think.
You mean for Cape or CSEC?
For Cape. For Cape, yeah.
Okay, nice.
So, you know, congratulations to her and to her
Yes.
family supporters and, you know, the teachers behind the scene who will have worked with her. And I don't think that I saw any mention of the runner-ups. I
Okay.
guess more information
Will
will
come
be
shortly.
coming shortly
Okay.
because I think I just saw a picture with the announcement. I don't know if I can't recall any details as it relates to that, further details.
Okay.
But congratulations.
Congratulations indeed. And these students, they're uber smart these days because I'm looking at a student from Ghana because Ghana nabbed 4 of the awards this year. And that boy has 27 subjects.
CSEC?
You heard me correct.
27.
You
Wow.
heard me. 23 distinctions and 4
Well, they say
twos.
grade ones. Persons.
Oh, grade 1.
yes.
Sorry. There's
actually, I think it's just a term that persons have been saying over the years
distinction?
with the distinction,
Okay.
but Cape actually, CSEC,
Okay.
CSEC, Cape, CXC, the examining body, they don't have a category of grading known as distinction. But
Okay.
we, you know, we like to say
they
distinction.
changed that?
Well, I don't think there ever was the category of
Okay.
distinction. It was just grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. But
That's just so we
what
characterize it.
Yeah. Because I remember when I was smaller too, and you know, you'll hear persons say they get 5 distinctions, this distinction, but actually when you look at the grading scheme, there's no grade awarded distinction.
Yes.
There is grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and it goes down.
And it goes down, yeah.
That guy with the 27 subjects, has he ever seen a movie though?
Maybe he has, and
Has he ever been on a date?
actually,
Well,
Has he ever had
checking,
ice
right?
cream?
well, I'm sure if he hasn't, he has opportunity to do so now with his 27 subjects.
27, because somebody's gonna want to go on a date with the smart guy.
So, you
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
I always tell and encourage persons to do things what do, and even if it's to make sacrifices and do what they can where they can, because
Yes,
they're going to be.
exactly.
I mean,
But all work and no play. You know what they say.
Make
But-
Jack a doll, but
but we're just assuming. We don't even know.
Let's hope there's balance in there.
We don't even know the individual, so it's just based
But-
on assumptions.
Jamster in Guyana, there's a distinction, right? You either go to after primary school, you go to community high, secondary, and high school. And this guy is a secondary schooler, so he is representing for the secondary schools in Ghana because the high schools in Ghana, there's more prestige. Once your child
Is the difference between secondary and high school?
yeah, the community high, that means you didn't pass enough to get into the secondary, and then the secondary means you didn't get a high enough mark to get into the high school. So the fact that he is a secondary schooler and doing this well and is a top student in Guyana, that speaks volumes. It doesn't matter where you are in life, it's up to you to make the best of it.
So sort of community is what they call primary school?
No, it's communities after primary. But as I said,
So
you
you all
didn't
have
do so
like
well.
4 or 5 levels?
Three.
Three.
Community, secondary, high, and then you go to university.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So it proves that it doesn't matter where you are in life. Once you put your mind to it, you can do what you have to do.
So I saw this story on ZIZ last night, ZIZ TV. St. Lucia, apparently the Prime Minister is tabling is floating the idea of something that Team Unity had floated a few years ago, wanting to set the election in stone constitutionally. I thought that was interesting. Just shows how our politicians, well, all of them pretty much, talk a good game, but when it's time for the rubber to meet the road, it's a different thing. I mean, I remember this was something that Team Unity talked about ad nauseum. You know, about which I really think, and they also tabled the same reasons that Team Unity at the time had posited.
So do you see my face here? I'm lost because I don't really follow politics. So what are we?
Yeah, because you know, in the Caribbean, in our system, the Prime Minister has inordinate powers. He can decide to call an election a week after the last general election if he wants. Okay. They want to do away with that. The Prime Minister has too much power. It puts the other parties at a disadvantage, and of course it gives the ruling party an advantage. And so they wanna make a constitutional amendment to have a set election date.
Okay, understood. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, which is something Team Unity used to talk about as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of persons they supported the fact that we would have a set election date, because as Jansa indicated right now, currently the Prime Minister basically has within his arsenal that trump card, that he or she, whoever is in the office, can call the elections at any time. And so it is often used when the Prime Minister feels that he or she has, the best chance of perhaps winning. Yeah.
And that trump card needs to be taken away.
But it's been proven that it doesn't work all the time from what I saw.
Well, but it doesn't matter whether it works or not. The point is, it needs to be just as a matter of principle.
Yeah, because it puts everybody at a disadvantage, I guess, because you can't campaign, you can't do what you're supposed to do. So there's
well, you can campaign. It's just
but
that.
What if you don't know Azard? How can you campaign though?
Well,
no. Well, look, the Americans, they have a set date. They know when they always know.
I get what you're saying. In terms of campaigning, it means that you can't really set a calendar as a member of the opposition or opposition party because you don't know when the election will be called. You can assume that it will be called even now in 2027, but it could be called tomorrow or a month from. Well, it could be called it can be tomorrow for tomorrow, but you understand.
Totally on. I said, when you get in power, you shouldn't stop campaigning. Don't wait until the next 5 years to come and knock on my door.
But at the same time, it shouldn't be all about the campaign posture all through the 5 years.
Yeah,
you should be concentrating on.
I think
you can do both. You should do both.
Well, do both
because people remember that they did not see you during those 5 years or less. So I think there should be. It doesn't have to be every day or every month.
I mean,
but you set aside something.
What I mean is, you shouldn't be in campaign mode in the sense that everything you do is cynically geared towards ginning up your base.
I get what he's saying.
Yeah, I understand that part, but just don't forget the people. Just don't come when it's close to election.
You're saying it's depending on the definition of campaigning or what campaigning is, because you're saying that you're supposed to be in touch with the people at all times. So from your perspective, be in touch with the people all the time.
Yes.
I think in Jamsa's perspective, he's saying that if it is you look at governance, you don't look at just trying to gain political points, but you look at the fact of actually governing the country in a way that it makes persons' lives better.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So I think both points are valid. So
they need to do both. We see you doing well, but we still want to see you. We don't want to forget you, and then when you come, it's like, And
I guess if you have a set election date, then it gives persons the opportunity to have, a plan as to how they're going to schedule certain things. In America, you have set dates when it comes to debates. You have set dates to certain
we
things.
We need to start debating here.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
That's the other thing.
Oh, man.
That would be awesome. That would be amazing.
Yep.
Don't get me started on that.
Definitely be our final determinant as to who is better for us, we need to do it. It's gonna be fine.
Absolutely. I mean,
so when persons say, I'm going to give $1,000 or $3,000 extra, you could actually question the policy. How are you going to get that happen? Where is it going to come from?
How are we going to pay it back?
And we have substantive debate, discourse on the issues rather than the
mudslinging
the theatrical demagoguery
and the character assassination.
Yeah,
and I think that's a reason why many persons shy away from politics, even persons who could give such a great contribution, because at the end of the day, you're considering whether or not you want to be a part of the personality person assassination.
You have to have broad shoulders.
Yeah, you have to really have broad shoulders.
As far as I'm concerned, because the things that are said, because look how they continue to mock President Biden in the U.S. and he just goes up with such dignity and he still does his job. And every day they're just jabbing at him. He doesn't. The poor guy doesn't get a break.
And I mean, when Hillary Clinton was running for president of the United States, so much in terms of. I do think that she had a really, maybe based on what happened during her husband's term and her close involvement in his run of the office, I think that to some extent would have been maybe at the end of the day, somewhat to her detriment.
You think so? I don't think America is ready to be run by a woman.
You mean the reason she lost?
I think it contributed to the anti-campaign against her, because it was basically, I think she was carrying a lot of things that would have happened during her husband's term in office.
I actually think Court is right. I don't know if Americans are ready for a woman president.
You don't think so?
No, this is the country that gave us John Wayne. You really think? Come on.
I don't think they're ready, but in as a defense too, that could have been an X factor.
Because
Americans look at everything, because look at that. They go back all the way when you were 16 and you maybe smoke some pot. Or how does that? Why is that relevant for me now at 45 or 65 running for president? I was a teenager then.
That is scary.
And how do they get your information? Is there some snitches in the office? I don't listen.
That reminds me of there's a movie. There's a movie. Well, it's a documentary. That documented the atrocities and the dealings of the Stasi. The Stasi was the secret police in Soviet East Germany.
Okay.
And there's this movie called this documentary called The Lives of Others. I like the name. It has a nice poetic, The Lives of Others.
So we just note, we have someone who says, I am against setting the election date. But continue.
Wow.
So I thought of it because the documentary outlined how, they'd have these little alcoves where they have all this information on people, on even samples of hair, and everything about all the people they were watching in East Germany under Soviet-ruled East Germany. It's sickening to see. So, and it's amazing how the Americans kind of couch that kind of surveillance state in this, it's couched as, we were democratic and this and that, and it's free, but then at the end of the day,
is it really?
Yes, because when it matters, they can dig stuff up from even before you were born. So it's crazy.
I don't understand. Like, I never knew Trump didn't want to be in the army, or he hid from being enlisted and all these things until he was running for president. I didn't know. Yes. And people went and dig up these things. That's why now him mocking the same people that would have protected him whilst he was hiding is, to me, just despicable. And if they make him president again, those people are sick. That's all I got to say. They're sick.
In a weird way, I think America is capable of all the same things, but they like to put up this veneer of
fancy
being so human and being so free and
they're people at the end of the day, and you have people with different views. It's just at the end of the day, I just always hope that the majority view is this is the reasonable one.
So why doesn't that person want to set election date? that will make us prepared and ready and make an informed choice.
And this is a problem why we're not. It's going to be so difficult to get like really groundbreaking constitutional reform and political change and in the political culture here, because you have people with that kind of mindset that decide, just and a lot of people will say, just because it's always been like that, it should stay like that.
No, change is good.
I agree.
Yeah.
The prime minister, the prime minister should not have so much power. That is way too much power. I mean, that's approaching king
power
status.
That proves to be detrimental at times. Yep.
What do you think, Azard? I feel like Azard
as
wants
the
to keep
future
it.
prime minister, Azard looks like he might keep it.
Well, you know.
So he can call when he thinks it's favorable.
You know, if Azard became prime minister, I would be the first person he would disappear. I'm just playing.
I mean, we've had our differences, Jamsa, but I'm here every day regardless.
Listen, I believe that is the love that they share. That's all I'm gonna say.
But answer the question now. Don't play smart. Come, answer the question.
I see it twofolds, but I do believe that there should be. I think I could wait towards the side of consistency and having, expectation as to when this date is going to be. I could see the benefits of that. I could also see the benefits of mechanisms in place. I think that there should be certain mechanisms in place, and this might be just me, where you can perhaps recall persons who are serving presently if there is any accusation of perhaps and proof, not just accusations, of misconduct. I think that should open, possibilities for recall even before the general election is called. I think that when you put yourself for public office, that you should, for the most part, be as honorable as the name suggests, the title that you're given. Yeah.
But that's two separate issues.
I know it's two separate issues, but I'm saying if you have a set date,
dodge, eh?
If you have a set date, if you have a set date, I think there should also be certain things in place too, because a set date would mean that you wait until that time. So if it is that certain things are happening, you'll want to ensure that upon waiting on that date, there are still certain mechanisms in place that could trigger election. So, and even though the prime minister has that in his defense or arsenal, now there are other circumstances that could trigger election even currently.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's not the issue. We're just saying at the very basic level.
I am more for the set right now with my present time. I am not against a set date.
You're not against a set date?
No.
Okay. Notice he did say I'm for a set date.
I'm not
a very nuanced answer.
I'm not against a set date.
Very political.
Yes.
Future Prime Minister right over there. But I realize in Dominica too, I don't know if you realize, in the latest, well, not the latest, but I think it was a week or two back, the opposition leader is calling for the Prime Minister to remove somebody that she appoint because they're not behaving well. So I can see how that works. Yeah. I still can't believe, as I said.
Another thing that drew my attention last night, I was listening to the closing hours of the National Assembly yesterday. I guess most people know we had a sitting of the National Assembly yesterday, and Premier Brantley was outlining the reason for the delay in the rollout of the build out of the geothermal plant in Nevis. He said it was because the Caribbean Development Bank had asked for a signature from St. Kitts saying, "Oh yeah, we sign off on it," blah blah blah, and apparently they're getting that from the Drew government. So I'm loving the sound of this, because he was saying that basically under the previous government, they were saying, "Oh, well, we've got to be looking at we're going to be looking to see if there's any geothermal potential in St. Kitts, rather than just signing off on the thing. He also pointed out that the electricity needs of Nevis are only like about I think 9 megawatts, and St. Kitts is about 21. So they were saying that the plant over there has the potential to provide, I think it's 1 gigawatt of power, of like a whole, like multiples more than what we would ever need. So he was saying that it would be financially prudent for us to really look at providing power to the surrounding islands, because that would make it more feasible in terms of the expense. And the way he tells it, it sounds really good. It's just that the cynical side of me says, this sounds really good. I really hope things work out the way they're saying, because they're saying that we have countries like Puerto Rico and so on expressing interest in maybe getting power from us.
Oh, nice.
The surrounding islands, St. Bart's, all these other people may very well be interested. So I really hope this happens.
Yeah. Sees it to fruition.
Yeah, I really hope, because he went as far as saying, okay, even if Nevis only has a peak capacity 9, so he said if you double that and say 20, and then you double St. Kitts, there's still way more power that can be had.
Okay.
Which we can sell.
Can we chastise the government when they're in for one term and everything that they would have campaigned on, they have not
Mark, sorry
produced.
if I butchered what you said, but
they have not produced. Do we give them some kind of grace, because we know in 5 years maybe they can?
Well, I think that would be on the parties to campaign and to send their message to the people, and then at the end of the day for the people to decide whether or not, based on what they have said, they are satisfied that they should be given another term, or you should go with someone else.
Because what if they say they're going to produce, I'm going to go with the housing, 100 houses, and at the end of 5 years, they only do like 50. Do you hold them accountable for the other 50, or do you understand that they needed the grace because they directed the funds somewhere else, maybe into agriculture, maybe into education?
Well, it will be for them to explain
exactly
why they didn't get it,
and it's a
and for the people to accept that.
Okay.
It's a two-way street as far as finding out what the government has to be transparent about exactly why you didn't meet the deadline. Well, not the deadline. Meet the
quota,
promise.
the quota, yeah.
Yeah, the quota. And then it's for us now to be reasonable. If a reasonable reason is forthcoming. It's for us. No, it's for us. It's for us.
No, it's how you use what?
You
said
it's
how you said a reasonable reason is forthcoming.
Because some reasons aren't reasonable. You know this.
I just go ahead.
Listen, he talks about you. He better get into politics too.
Me, no. I don't have patience for nonsense. So, no.
But somebody's got to do it, you know. And I think it's a hard job, and for those persons like Azard that take.
I would always tell the
mantle,
truth.
Boy.
The
truth should set us free, but you know people don't like the truth. You know that, right?
Yes, they don't like the truth.
I mean.
And they don't like set election dates either.
Well, you're going to have persons who have different views on it. I really think that perhaps what a matter like that, want to get maybe the views of the people to see whether or not they favor set election dates or whether they would like things for the Prime Minister to still have the power. I think something like that should be a discussion with the people. Because at the end of the day, we want to ensure that,
It's 8:34. I was supposed to go to the 8:30 break, but there are 2 calls coming in, and you guys make it hard to say no. So let me call or go right ahead. Be brief.
Good morning.
Yeah.
With regards,
this is going to be good.
With regards the holding governments responsible for the promises, or politicians responsible for their promises. We have no choice but to do that. Otherwise, we'll be constantly faced with wild promises, and when they're not delivered, you have the excuses. Well, it's just one term. We need the next one, etc., etc. there has to be some kind of baseline. You have to have confidence in the electorate to be able to distinguish between a wild promise and failure to keep it, in the sense that the electorate must be able to see, or should be able to discern, that, well, in such and such a day, on such and such a date, we had a massive storm that was responsible for the setbacks. Okay? I don't think an electorate would be so unreasonable as to see things like this and then expect certain promises to be fulfilled.
Absolutely.
But the other part of that is, you see all kinds of things being done with public money, and you have to question priorities, right? And that is what I'm saying. You have your list of promises. The electorate voted you in based on those promises. Some of them have not been fulfilled, and some have, depending on whose priorities. It should be ours, right? And so the electorate should be able to decide, well, it didn't do this when that was the main issue for me. Okay? And then reward or punish accordingly. That's the bottom line. Unfortunately, as was just said, you generally have to wait 5 years to do that. It would be nice if in our democracy we had some way of maybe midterm doing some kind of grading system. For instance, in North America, you have the elections, you have the midterm elections, which acts as a barometer to show how a sitting president or government is doing. Unfortunately, we don't have that here. Okay, but in whatever constitutional arrangement we eventually decide to have, it would be good to have that inbuilt, because we can't have 5 years, people basically have their own way for 5 years, and in between those 5 years they can do all kind of nonsense and get away with it. Okay, so yes, I really do feel that there's some reasons why promises cannot be fulfilled, but the electorate has to look at them with a grain of salt and decide, well, you really could have if you had prioritized these things which I voted you in for, and you have not done so, therefore you should be punished. As simple as that, I think.
And of course, like I was telling AZ, that's assuming that the politicians are forthcoming, the government is forthcoming with the reasons for not meeting the quota, as Carty put it.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They have to be able to give the reasons for not fulfilling them. But of course, the general tendency is for politicians to shut up. There's a natural tendency for politicians to be secretive, and only put out their spin. And we have to guard against that. It's very good, for instance, in the debate yesterday. Those bills were presented, but we've had that sort of thing in the past where, these bills, those kinds of bills are presented, and then it's back to business as usual. So we have to, it will be interesting to see if it really ends up being that, business as usual. Okay, even with these bills, because you can find all kind of loopholes and delaying tactics, and take a simple case like the information, people asking for information from the information commissioners or whoever. Suppose to keep them on his desk or her desk. Just keep it there and say it's been, and come out with some lame statement like, well, it's being addressed, it's here, it's being addressed, and it remains being addressed for 5 years. Sure, they're on the books, the laws are on the books, but if it's not being applied, You know, the old saying, justice delayed is justice denied. It's the same thing. So we have to be careful, watch what's going on, and see and test these systems. People have to test the systems. People have to go and see if they can get information. People have to see how the whistleblower legislation, see if it actually works, or if it's not just cosmetics as usual. Right? So let's wait and see what happens.
Let's do.
All right then.
Okay. And the interesting thing is, you know, Azard, I wanted to hear what's your take on the legislation that they passed yesterday before you leave.
Well, I think as you know, as Mr. McMahon says too, I think that these legislations, they are necessary in terms of changes. In fact, the one that I got a chance to listen to pretty much with the debate would have been the cannabis for medicinal purposes and removing it from the list of poisons. I thought that the debate was, you know.
But what about the freedom, the whistleblower one?
Well, I think that's important as well, because I think that persons need protection if it is that they are seeing something happen and it's not supposed to happen, rather than persons being in fear. I think that the law should provide them with a protection, you know, so that we could have more of those persons who see wrong and want to report it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what about they were talking about, for example, and I remember they were using some examples of, let's say, you know, they're giving out the laptops today, but maybe someone in the office saw it last week and they may have told somebody over the weekend. How does that work? So that's separate legislation to whistleblower?
Yeah, I think I'll have to get the exact legislation before me, but my interpretation of what it is so far is that it's for those persons to report misconduct rather than not just to report confidential information, but misconduct.
Okay,
you know?
so
there's a difference
between
yes.
leaks and basically like you could say whistleblowing based on conscience.
Whistleblowing based on you have seen some sort of misconduct and you want to report it and be protected after reporting that misconduct. That's my understanding. But I would do when the bill is passed and all the amendments made and it's final, then I'll have a look at it and we could have a discussion. And perhaps we could even look at what has been debated so far. It was a pretty long day yesterday for me and a pretty long day I saw in Parliament. So I haven't had the chance really to sit down and go through it and really digest what was said. But no, I have to run. But after this conversation has been so good this morning, you know, it's so difficult.
Tell them. Then again, I can't say that. I don't want you to be held in contempt of anything.
Yes, okay.
So I'll behave myself.
Yeah, this one has been so nice. Such a nice discussion. Yes, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So bring us some candy bars tomorrow.
And some green tea for Jamster.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, Cort, and then we're going to come back. We have some calls coming in. So callers, on the other side, we're going to come back and take your calls. We have 60 minutes until 9 o'clock. Of course, at 9 o'clock, we have Dr. Natalie Osborne with your... Oh, she's not in today. Okay, so apparently she's not in today. So
she's on vacation.
She's on vacation, okay. So let's take
everybody needs a break, you know?
Yeah, clearly.
From the South, 98.9.
Dreaming of that perfect getaway? Hop aboard the Michelina ferry to the breathtaking islands of Saba, Statia, St. Martin, and St. Kitts. Embark on a delightful journey and enjoy sun-kissed beaches, vibrant cultures, and unforgettable experiences. Visit MichelinaFerryService.com to book your island-hopping adventure today.
Studied hard at school, didn't wanna be a fool, but you're still not in the game. Girlfriend living large, big house and car, that's because she's in the game. Life seems real tough, bills keep going up, and you're still not in the game. It's not that hard for all that to change, it's time to get in the game. You have to be in it to win it. Super Lotto, in it to win it. Super Lotto, in it to win it. Super Lotto, you have to be in the game. Only $6 to play, so play today. Only $6 to play, so play today. Only $6 to play, so play today. You have to be in the game.
Get your tickets from Caribbean Lottery retailers island-wide.
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. Choose from the Accumulator Plus, Investment Starter Plan, and Fixed Deposit. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
I prefer to say it with music. We wish everyone a Merry Christmas. In case you didn't get the clue. Yeah. So we are back. It's 8:47. Now we have the phone lines going. Let's take this call. Island here on the air.
Yeah. Good morning, Jamster.
Hey, what's up?
And good morning, Azard.
Oh, he had to
the
leave.
Young lady there, good morning.
Yeah,
Good
he had to
morning.
leave, yeah. Kortensia.
Wonderful topic as usual.
Yeah, her name is Kortensia.
Now, I must commend the government to bring these bills forward, especially integrity, life in pub, and the whistleblowers and transparency in government, because government come. And when you're in a position, you preach, so when you're going to do, you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and nothing like that take place. And I am one who rallying for this all the time, that when we elect a government, we elect a candidate, when they go in, we must know what they're doing with our taxpayers' money. Because it ain't right to hear that this money gone in that project, and when you look, you hear the project fail, and nobody could be an account to it. When you look, you hear opposition campaigning say, oh, when they get in, somebody going to get a jail. This going to get jail and that going to get jail. And when you look, nothing like that happen. So I just hope this bill work out for the government, the ministers them, and the government secretary and others who work in the government, this whistleblower bill. I just hope things go fair. Because everything got the loophole, regardless to what you do something, everything got the loophole. And my question is to Jamster, anyone of you can say it. Okay, this bill what they bring now, it goes to the Prime Minister. If the whistleblower get the Prime Minister in something, leaking out something, or trying to transfer some money, anyone the ministers in government, like to trying to transfer, doing some corruption thing, if this go to them too, just the pace, just working in government. If them, right, find them in corruption, right, and they go to the Integrity Commission, and the Integrity Commission said that they got to resign. I would like to know if in the Integrity Commission we got the last day, and the Prime Minister or whosoever minister or government do this thing will resign. All right, I will listen to this after here.
Okay. Yeah. So that was one take on yesterday. So
he asked a question though, about the. He used an example where he said the Prime Minister being caught in something. If he resigns, shouldn't he resign and then?
Yeah, he should.
The deputy takes over.
Yeah, he should. But we know that they're shameless around. They'll do a whole bunch of stuff and act like, what, me? I didn't do anything.
Wow.
Island here on the air.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Morning.
Yes, today I was happening to be home and I was listening a little bit of the debate with the Cannabis Act. And I think it was Matt Brantley came on, and he wasn't really against it because he was, in a sense, supporting it, but he had some concerns. And his concerns was also my concerns, because it apparently, when the Prime Minister, Dr. Joe, was presenting the bill, the concern that Matt Brantley brought, the Prime Minister didn't bring those concerns. But after Matt Brantley spoke about it, and I think Matt Brantley wasn't of his own opinion, but it was based on what he was getting from his people over there. And he was saying things as such as that if you're going to pass this bill, you have to educate the public. You have to put in place certain laws, because even I have realized here in St. Kitts that minors are smoking this thing. And because it is not as dangerous as cigarettes, it tends to just go undercover, like nobody really making a fuss about it. But as minors begin to smoke this thing, others will begin to do it. And then soon after, you may have a problem. And so Matt Brantley brought this thing. And then what did the Prime Minister do? He didn't come up and acknowledge and say, yes, okay, I accept what Matt Brantley said, and we have to put in this. But he started to basically downsize it and like cover it up and say that these things are already being considered, but we're trying to get it off the scene first, and then after this is off the scene, then we'll put in place these things. Listen, let me tell you something. The lungs was not created to inhale smoke. It was for fresh air. I am against smoking, period. If you want to use the ganja as a medicine, do it as a tea. I've never ever smoked before, but I've been affected by it.
Hey, I like my brownies. Hey, watch it.
And I believe the Prime Minister, I was asking a woman if she believed Dr. Joe smokes, and she said yes, but I haven't confirmed it, But what I'm saying also,
he's an adult.
I said to the lady yesterday, sir?
I was saying he's an adult, but yeah, okay, go ahead.
What I was saying to the lady yesterday also is I said to her that why is it the Prime Minister is pushing so heavily for this, and not even about 30% of the population I think it's into this thing, And listen, there's a woman at Birdrock who was in charge of one of the industries here that was closed down with Kajura and Reed Data. And she stated to me that when the Dr. Douglas was Prime Minister, they had a hosting, a gathering, and he was brought in to speak. And she said to me that he said outrightly in front of all of them that he is not really supporting this type of industry. He's more leading to the tourism. And she said to her and her colleagues, it was like a slap in the face, because this particular service was so high in North America that when the North Americans used to call down here to get information, they thought they was talking to somebody in America. They couldn't believe it's so intelligent and so well-versed the people here were. And so the company was closed down. Just apparently that she still happens to live here, but I think it was moved to India because the new man who had placed over this industry wanted to take it to India. But she said the Prime Minister didn't even try to negotiate for other people to come in and take over. And if Dr. Joe wants to diversify the country, he should try to recall back these industries and not let them, because right now they're being sold off to private people. I think Island Bakery now brought the building that I was just talking about. And so if he wants to do something...
But the issue...
Yeah.
The issue with those call centers is that I think they're a viable course to pursue for employment. But the problem is, we had Brownhill Communications here, and these companies they're always on a relentless chase for profit. And what happened was the guy who I was a very good friend with the guy who ran the Brownhill Communications call center, and he said they had basically moved to some other country where they can pay people even less. And there's always going to be that slippery slope where we bring them here, and at some point they're going to say, they're going to think that our laws, because the thing is, we might think our employment laws are maybe not that evolved. Yeah, they might not be as evolved as the first world, but compared to a lot of other countries, they're relatively robust, and these people are always going to want to move because I think the Brown Hill people took it to somewhere in Central America or South America, where they can be paid even less. So there's always that problem. But
listen, if I understand what you're saying, but if they could do cuts in the fuel and do cuts in other things, then whatever is necessary to do this, because eventually, as these companies begin to go and become noted and become popular, I think things could change. But what the government is willing to undercut or to give in order for them to stay here, that depends on what they're willing to negotiate, right? That's where it comes down to, in my opinion. But because, listen, those people who was working here, they was well trained, they could have gone anywhere else in the world or many other places and do what they were doing here because they was very well trained. So when you let a company get up and leave off after being here for 5 years, 10 years, what becomes of the people who was under that training? What becomes of those people who was getting that kind of knowledge? It just go to waste if there is no continuation of it. I understand what you're saying, however, but my point is this. I wasn't happy with how the Prime Minister addressed it after Matt Brantley versus his opinions on the matter.
No,
and, I think it's...
Yeah, I'm following you. But the other thing, though, you do realize, and it's interesting that you bring this up because, you do realize we don't even really pay attention to the liquor laws as far as minors and so on. I mean, I don't think, for example, that anybody gets carded. Let's say, for example, you have a 17-year-old and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and they're over at Vibes and they go to the bar to buy a beer. I really don't think anybody's going to ask them. Yes, these are the kind of things that need to be put in place. This is why I've always said everyone should have a national ID. For example, if a minor shows up at a party somewhere where alcohol is being sold, they need to be said, "Can I see your ID?" So we're not even enforcing the laws of minority for alcohol, and now we're basically adding fuel to the fire with the marijuana thing. So I take your point, but there are a lot of things that need.
Quickly, I live in an area in Monkey Hill that the woman have a 7-year-old child, and she smokes in the house with that child. What do you think can happen? And I'm going to pass the bill that you could smoke in your house, in your own property. But what if you have children in there? Eh? I mean, these are the things that doctors you need to look into deeply, and just not be pushing to pass the stuff. Because I'm wondering, how far can cannabis take us? As if he's trying to, it's not just maybe somebody paying him some money under the table.
But also, let's not conflate
If somebody's pushing something that he just pushing for it to happen, because when he gets it in, then whoever wants to come in could come in and do it.
No, I hear what you're saying. But what I'm saying, let's not conflate the several marijuana issues. There's marijuana as an industry, and there's marijuana as a public health concern. And you just voiced some very valid concerns. But I don't think we should conflate that with marijuana built out as an industry.
Between me and you.
As a money earner.
I understand what you're saying, but between me and you, is the smoking is the primary thing here, because that's what people wanted. And as Matt Banty said, is to get the high, nothing else. Nothing else is to get the high, right? But and listen, the epilepsy thing that he brought.
Well, people drink to get drunk, right? So there's nothing wrong with the high per se. But I'm not against you. I'm just saying. I'm not saying because I've noticed the politicians here always seem to want to ignore the fact that people smoke recreationally. It's only very recently they've started addressing that, and it looks bad that this only came up because of St. Kitts Music Festival. So as usual, we always want to show charity to visitors rather than our own. But I take your point.
You just make a point that you're saying people drink to get drunk. But listen to this now. You only have to take about 2 pulls if you're a newbie and you get high. I have never drunk a beer before, full beer. I've tasted it, but I never acquired the taste for beer, so I never really pushed myself to learn to drink beer. But listen to this. I could drink a beer and I would not get drunk. You could smoke those 2 spliffs, you could pull and you don't get high. So you point that people drink to get drunk, yes. But you could just be passing by and you're in an area with the smoke, and you will get your high. And I've experienced that already, where I was just talking out of my head, and I didn't understand why until I learned that the person had given me a breadfruit cake, and that put weed in it, and I didn't know. The person was from South America, and I was doing a job, and the person offered it to me, and I couldn't believe that the person, because that was the first time weed was introduced to me in that sense, and he got me high. I wasn't doing foolishness, but I was just talking constantly out of my head, talking constantly to somebody, and I couldn't understand why I was talking so much until after I studied it out, and I realized the light feeling, and I said, this person, and me and the guy followed, feared after that there. But I understand what you're saying. But we need to look at this thing deep and not push it as if is the way to one of the ways to diversify the economy. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
And if what you said is true, and Dr. Drew was as dismissive as you said, well, yeah, for a medical doctor, that's not a good look. If what you say is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the laws of majority and so on need to be, I guess, strengthened so that they include things like alcohol and marijuana and
that ID that you spoke about as well.
Yeah, and make sure when you see people that look like they might be underage, the policeman should know, well, hey, I should go and see if that person is
home.
Old enough. Send them home. Take away the joint or whatever the case might be.
But for kids that come up in Rastafarian households and maybe they start smoking early, how do you take away their joint when it's something that they're allowed to do at home?
The impression I get, though, with most of the Rastafarians I know who have kids is that they give them the tea. They let them decide about the smoking when they get old enough. Yeah. So
fair enough.
There's some pretty responsible Rastas
But then the tea,
out there,
the tea is still introducing it in. The only thing is you're not puffing.
No, but the tea is good for you. That's the thing.
But doesn't the tea get you high as well?
It gets you high, but I imagine that they probably don't give them that much.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's anti. Listen, this thing is anti-cancer, anti-this.
Yeah, I see that. I see a lot of persons because was it Gramps' Morgan wife that was here and she used it to help her son?
Yeah.
So it has and you see people in Canada and the US and stuff, they actually have prescriptions to get these things whether they need it or not. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Look at the phones. Let me take the break and then we come back. Callers, don't come for me. When I come back, we have to take the break. It's 3 minutes after 9 o'clock. We have to take the break. When we come back, we'll take your calls. Coming right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Attention all Value Club members, get ready for an exciting November to remember at Horswood's Value Mart. Value Club members, brace yourselves for double point splendor. That's right, every purchase of fresh produce and succulent meats earns you double the points. Exclusively for Value Club members. Fill your carts, earn those points, and watch the rewards pile up. It's a double point splendor for every Value Club member on produce and meat for the entire month of November. Join us at Horswood's Value Mart this November, and let's make it a month to remember. See you at the store.
Unbox big Black Friday savings with up to 40% off at Pandora Jewelry. Treat yourself to some sparkle or get started on your gift list. Shop November 18th through 28th and save up to 40% on jewelry for the holidays. Only at Pandora Jewelry. Offer valid only at participating Pandora retailers. Exclusions apply. See store for details.
Noble Jewelers, located at Port Zante. Call us at 466-2849.
Just in time for Christmas from the Bank of Nevis. 100% financing for your next new car, SUV, truck, or other vehicle. The Bank of Nevis is offering 100% financing with no down payment. 7 years to complete your payments, starting 1 month after your fast track approval. The first year of insurance and all processing fees can also be included. And you get $250 worth of free gas. This package comes with one of the most competitive interest rates in the market. Visit the nearest branch of the Bank of Nevis in Charlestown and 4th Street and Wellington Road, Basse-Terre today. This great offer of 100% financing for your next new vehicle ends on December 31st.
Terms and conditions apply.
And we are back, and we're going to go straight to the phone lines, Scott. Island T, you're on the air.
Yes, good day.
Hey.
Again, one good thing about yesterday's sitting is that the opposition leader seemed to have found his opposition legs. And, or maybe he was just playing devil's advocate, but he did question how we were approaching the whole cannabis issue nationally, giving the impression that it's almost like we don't know what we're doing. We're just doing this piecemeal approach instead of doing something comprehensive. You know, I found it quite surprising that he adopted that view. Okay, it may be so, as a matter of fact, and it was really good to see him really call the government's approach into question. And he also did the same thing, I think, with the two bills, that is the unauthorized disclosure and the whistleblower legislation, because he identified the fact that they could be conflicting, you know, they could operate against each other, right? So it was really good to see that, and he also questioned the fact that it seems to be the bills needed tightening up, especially the one on the unauthorized disclosure of information, because it essentially made it almost criminal for even the most mundane of disclosures, the most simple disclosure. And I think he gave an example of cleaner. Well, I think somebody mentioned it this morning with somebody talking about the laptop, giving out information about the laptops. That could be essentially criminalized. I'm not so sure if it's criminalized or certainly punished. All right, and one has to question, in a country our size, whether those kinds of legislation really make sense. I mean, it's not like we're a big country with a national security budget of 60 billion, and you know you can make a lot of mischief with that, and it has to be accounted for. There are very few, I would think, national security secrets that we have to really guard against, and it may in fact turn out to be government overreach, a way to make sure that things that really should be brought to the public remain under wraps. So
Let
we
me
have to be very careful.
Let me ask you a question. Does it seem like giving with one hand and taking away with the next? I mean, given the fact that we had freedom of information tabled recently. Was that last year, or I think they kind of evolved the legislation, and then now you have this. So doesn't this effectively kind of neutralize that?
It can work. It can work to do exactly that, and that is the problem we have. It depends so much on the application. It depends so much on the people who are there to the gatekeepers, the people who are gonna make decisions as to what is really unauthorized and what is. You know, those kinds of things. It depends so much on, and it's very difficult to legislate the actual application.
Although I would say, yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. It's all right.
No, I was saying, although I would say Mark was very measured in his pushback about that legislation, because what I find he's doing, and granted, I mean, his intent and so on is a whole other issue, but what I find he does is he seems to be doing is not just opposing for opposition's sake, which is something I hate in politics and politicians. I do not believe in opposition just for its own sake. I mean, for example, I remember the people who are running the country now, I heard them say when Team Unity was in, oh, why don't they pay triple salary? I mean, that's ridiculous. How can they pay triple salary? That's opposition for opposition's sake. That's ridiculous, right? So that's the point. That's the point I'm making.
So we can take it to that extreme, yes. But it's always good to present alternatives, okay? And
but reasoned
alternatives. If you're in opposition, you're expected to present alternatives. You see that and what was interesting too, the fact that whereas Mark Brantley took that view yesterday, you had, I think it was Eric Evelyn, who also made an input on that,
yes.
And he sounded as if he was opposing the opposition leader.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, you caught that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like that.
That was funny.
I like that though.
Yeah.
I mean,
after all, it's a debate. I mean, so you should get all sides, all versions, all possibilities, and so on. You should exhaust them before you actually end up passing the bill, because that makes for a better bill, assuming that the amendments are taken, right? But which doesn't always happen. For instance, I think the Attorney General pushed back and said, well, there's enough clarity in the bill as it is as to what would constitute an unauthorized disclosure. Okay, I think it's actually vague, too vague, right? But and gives too much power, like I said, to those who it's intended to guard against. It gives too much power for them to stonewall and so on.
Yes.
But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see in the application.
Yes.
Going forward.
I could imagine the jokes last night. Eric, you threw me under the bus.
Yeah. I thought it was funny too.
Okay. Next call.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Yeah, good morning again.
Good
Now,
morning.
my question, this medical marijuana thing, right? What happened that they're going to get a lab here to make the medicine, make tablets or whatever they're going to do? They're going to join with Canada, who done got this thing done put in place, and then go the marijuana here and ship for the marijuana, and then they will just look over here to send our sugar cane to England. You know? I mean our sugar to England. To sell our sugar to England. So I would just want to know if the medical marijuana will develop here or whatsoever. Because let me tell you something, right? I believe that this smoking getting out of hand. When I go around certain bars, especially sometimes down somebody the bar down there, you see these young boys and girls, young people, so boys see them. Listen, if they got to walk in the chain, smoke. What going to happen to our young men and women in the next generation of life? You know? So I believe that something need to put in place, no matter that the medical marijuana come in place. I believe that the government got to got certain laws that they cannot use too much. And police, they're representative all in front of police. Smoking is all in front of police. They say that they're supposed to smoke in designated area. They ain't doing that. They're smoking one bar, smoking one something, they're eating your food, and they come right and they smoke. You know, some people buy their lunch by these bars and so. And I just want the authorities to listen to me, because this thing is getting out of hand. And if this continue, our young men and young boys and girls, I must say, ain't going to reach nowhere in life. And I do not believe this generation in the Federation will work out for us in the future. All right then.
Okay, caller. Yeah. So
I was surprised. I saw a few young women smoking, and I was actually shocked. I thought it was a man thing, and when I saw them, I was like, "Whoa, yeah." Let me tell you, I was flabbergasted. I was not in denial, but I was in shock because I didn't know that so many young women smoked weed.
I know a particular singer. I had her on the show one time, and then I remember seeing her a few weeks after. And she was baked out of her mind, because I could tell. You can tell.
Wow.
She barely recognized me. Caller, go right ahead.
As should be recognized. Greetings,
Hey, what's up?
China fight that fighting herb.
No.
You should put that fight. You should put that fight on all alcohol, as Tony Rebel call it, alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be good if direct that fight to alcohol. Yeah? And food, certain things that I call food. Yeah? That is killing people. Yeah? All right. There was a caller on the line that made a sound that it seemed like the Honorable PM in pushing the cannabis industry is taking things on the table to do so. You are very presumptuous and judgmental, and you should come back and apologize to the Honorable Prime Minister. You hear me? And you see the fight that Uno are putting on a God-created herb, which was good from the beginning and still good up till time. Uno to direct them fight. Them fighting there. Uno to direct them to things that are killing Uno. Yeah? In terms of the people who are using herb and not using it as they ought to, because everything have a purpose. Herb is the sacramental the sacramental vibration of Rastafari. And any correction that is to be for ones and ones who are partaking of I sacrament, direct it to I. I can deal with anyone who are using herb and not using it aright. Yeah? We are here. Rastafari is here and shall be here forever. So incorporate I wise mind in the use of the herb and stop with this fighting when there should be other fight that oil should be dealing with and not dealing with. Oil is too hypocritical. Yeah? Oil conveniently directing oil fight to the herb conveniently and not fighting what oil should be fighting. And let me tell you something. Oil is fighting a losing battle because the herb will be here being used when the system and all who fight it will be no more. Blessed love.
Blessed love. And the elder is right, actually. There are a lot of people who probably don't want to hear that, but he's right.
Mm.
I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, we really should be looking at, regulating the use of alcohol by minors, just as we need to do the same for minors using marijuana.
Yep.
Caller, Island Tea, go right ahead. Caller, go right ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Example, right? I take 2 shots of whiskey outside examination room. I could go in and do my exam. I smoke a spliff outside the same building I arrested the person who was speaking to. Alcohol is more detrimental. Alcohol is in medication also. It is prescribed by medical doctors. Person who smoke marijuana went to university and come out. Great leaders, inventors. But what I'm really called to address the individual who read the Whistleblower Act. I can't understand how he find himself reading no kind of document in the House of Parliament when he is victimizing persons like myself. I had a matter in the court since 2017. I was prevented from working in this country of my birth. I was accused of thieving government money. I took the matter in the court. I win my case, and he would not sign my check. So how could we credible to go do these things? And he himself, I'm blind a whistle now. The Attorney General, what are you doing? You want to put laws in the house, and you're breaking laws? How could this be? Can't be right. I need my money. The man, breadfruit and cane. I was to walk the streets of Boston and beg. Marrying a thief. So all I struggle, man, thief. Man, broke the law. But yet still I win my case. I can't get me money. I've been accused of thieving. Somebody gonna pay big, you know. Somebody gonna pay big, you know. That's why I tweet thief money from government. Somebody gonna pay big, you know. It's the Attorney General that need me money, man. Abusing you. Just do your work. Good morning.
Okay. Yeah.
You got a horse in your throat?
Yeah. Whole herd, apparently.
Oh.
So
get rid of them.
Yeah. It's 9:22. I just sent it to you. I just got this thing from Pino.
I had one of those mornings again. Guess where my phone is?
You forgot it home?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is why when I get up, I try immediately to throw it in the bag, because if I don't throw it, I'll take it around to have the time, and then I'll leave it somewhere.
Is it because women's clothing tends not to have pockets? Because, like, for example, when I
got plenty pockets today. My capri has 2. My jacket has 2. Yeah, it was not in my vision when I was leaving it, and I was hoping that it was in the bag.
Because what I always do is after I dress, I unplug it from the night table, and I put it in my back pocket, so I can't forget it.
I walk around with mine to listen to something motivational to start my day or to keep the time, and it goes all around the house with me, and then I don't remember to put it in the bag.
So I guess you'll see it when you go home.
Yeah, looking at me. Yeah. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Yeah, you always hear that investors coming in, government must bring in investors. And when there's investors come in, these investors come in for time, they might put down a factory, they might put whatever, and afterwards, they start to use our money in our bank. Because if the money where they bring in fail, if they had any at all. What about if, like, our own businessmen come here? Our own, some of our own men who went to university and they try to club up and do business together. Like opening a project, opening a restaurant, opening a hotel, or whatsoever. Do you think that government will, you believe government will stand up for these men and over to the bank and get the money to do the investment? And do not you believe that if we won't stand up and open up factories and open up different things and so, and hire our own people, don't you believe it will be better for us and these investors coming in with the empty hand? And when you look now, when the year of the term up, they declare bankruptcy and say they don't have no money and they turn over the business to the next business. That is all I hear from since I hear in this country. Born in this country, raised in this country. And, you know, that is where we hear all the time. That these businessmen come in, they declare bankruptcy because they want to pay the tax. What about our people? And the next thing again, what they do, they sell them the land, like the Chinese them. I make sure that in different countries, they don't sell land. They lease land. So when they bank up and they're ready to go, we got the building and we got the land here. They could do the thing with it and make money out of it for the government. So these are things that I thinking and I see happening. And I just want to see that this government do things different. Because let me tell you something now. We just hear talking when government in opposition, party in opposition, you know. Say this, say that, say they're going to do this, say they're going to do that, and when you look, nothing rise up about the standard, how they say they're going to do things to please we the ordinary person. You know? So I wish this government, the young still, as I concerned, a couple young men there, a few young men there, Douglas is there as an elder mixed with them, and they got some advisors. So this is our own people. This is our own people. And I will look to see our own people stand up, even if we're in opposition. Even at that time was a petition. But what I happen, right, when a government lose, right, the opposition ain't calling in nothing, then praising nothing with the opposition do. Not all the opposition doing all these things. And it's supposed to stop. When something good happen, we're supposed to say something good happen. This is our country. This is our national who born here, running the country. And because of politics, we criticize everything. And I believe the time now, these things supposed to stamp out and see this. I'm in opposition oppose, but oppose constructively, oppose good. Because when you're building your country, like the CBI program, look how the CBI program banned in a row now. You know? Banned in a row. When these people over there hear that, when they take our CBI program, and we have no more industry as like tourism. Everybody know what the pandemic do us, you know. And the CBI program failed, you know, what happened to the federation, you know. Anyway, you all have a blessed day. And I hope nobody come on and interrupt the program and distract you all from the right thing you all do. Because you got some callers just come on and come distract. All right then.
Okay, great. 9:27. Yeah, I am all for constructive opposition.
Yeah.
I mean, like last night, Mark was laying out some in reference to the people, you know, going and tattling on things that the government hadn't announced it or that the government was doing. He was pointing out that there's some cases where I thought he made some reasonable points about, you know, how they need to tread lightly in terms of how the legislation is rolled out. I think that's constructive opposition, you know.
Indeed.
Although some people are saying that he has to make sure the New Vision bread is buttered, so his opposition is very. So they're
trying to say he's curry favoring whatever he's doing to ensure that Nevis gets what they deserve.
But I mean, he's being practical. Politics is a big part of politics is pragmatism, right?
Yeah, and then we should take into consideration each other's ideas and thoughts, because if we didn't think like that, then you can say, that's something we can think about. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T.
Greetings again. Do we know, do all of us know, in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, do all of us know that St. Kitts and Nevis is full of cocaine? Although
not aware
that product come from a plant that goes out there in South America and other places.
Yes.
It goes through, it's whatever. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And it is not within any pristine state. Yeah? There's people who use the plant where they grow it and chew it and whatever, and say that it's part of their culture. But to get this thing that they call cocaine, crack cocaine, you have to carry it through whatever.
Well, that applies to cocaine and crack cocaine. Is that it's heavily processed.
Right.
And I think the point you're making is that marijuana is minimally processed. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. And then you have, no, please don't use that word, marijuana. Marijuana is not like ganja and cannabis. Marijuana goes through because of the fight with the Mexican. You see that name, marijuana? We don't love it.
Okay.
Marijuana should not be used.
So we call it the herb.
Marijuana is not the same as ganja, as cannabis.
Okay.
It is completely different. There's a fight, you know. There's a fight going on, and we must not fail to see the fight. The fight is still on. The word marijuana comes from the same fight. So we have to know. We have to know what we are up against within this struggle, especially us as a people. Remember, we are the people who was taken away from a continent from where we belong. This is no nonsense story. It happened hundreds of years. We've been through atrocities that is unimaginable. Why are we forgetting who we are? So, there's other people in the earth who been through their similar struggles with the same common enemy. Right? With the same down pressure. So marijuana is part of that fight. So we do not choose to use that term, because we know where it's coming from. We heard the Honorable PM spoke about that many times, because he knows, just like how other people knows, that name marijuana, we know where it comes from. So it's different. That's why Rastafari keep it real and say sacrament.
Okay.
The tree of life. Because that's what it is. You know, it is the tree of life.
Okay, Elder, I have to shut it down now, because we have a segment coming up at 9:30, and we had to hear from Rams
No
first. Yes,
problem.
of course. Sure.
Quickly though. The cocaine situation in St. Kitts and Nevis, it is real. St. Kitts and Nevis is full of crack cocaine. Please, we are asking the citizens to direct their attention to that, because there's people in our midst who uses it.
Okay.
And then if it come and
Okay,
pass
Elder.
people go other places, we're not watching that. That's their business.
Okay.
But there's people in our midst who uses it. So if we are concerned,
Okay, Elder.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hey kids, drink healthy.
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's yummy.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. Rams. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Both of them.
Christmas time.
And it's World Fisheries Day. Quat, you want to take this one?
Yeah. I have on blue, but my blue's on the bottom, and I got a little spot of blue. I remember the minister actually saying something about it in his address yesterday. So, happy World Fisheries Day.
Thank you.
And we have some gentlemen from the department to let us know what is happening. So, when you gentlemen are ready, you can take it away.
Yes. Pleasant good morning to all who are listening via radio and internet. Good morning to all the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, those abroad. So this morning, the Department of Marine Resources is having Media Day. And that is an activity within our Fisheries Week of activities. World Fisheries Day is celebrated once a year, November 21st annually, right? And it is a time where we go out and we promote our fisheries sector. All those who are involved, our fishers, those involved in processing the value chain of that sector, and it is a time for us to bring attention to them, all right? As well as promoting the cause of the department, some of our plans. And this morning what we want to touch on is ghost fishing.
What is ghost fishing?
Good. Okay, I'll allow my colleague next to me. His name is Carty.
Okay.
He's our extension officer, and he's very versed in terms of in that area.
Good morning again to everyone,
Good morning, Mr.
and
Sandler.
happy World Fisheries Day to all those who catch, cook, clean, and eat fish, all who are involved at any point with fish today. So this morning we're just touching on the issue of ghost fishing, and what that is when lost, abandoned, or discarded fishing gear continues to fish in the water, but not under the control or supervision of a fisher. So what happens sometimes is nets, fish traps, lines, they get damaged or they're lost, you put it down here. Usually it's passive fishing gear that you set, leave, and come back. So the water might move it around, things like that, and then you can't find it. But what happens is it does not stop fishing. So in the case of fish traps, they might not be visible to the fisher in terms of being able to locate it, but then fish go inside still, and then they become self-baited. So fishes go and get trapped, and then other fish come in when those die, and then they get trapped as well. So it's a continuous cycle until the trap is biodegraded. Then you have nets that might drift, and those are a whole other issue because it causes, it puts things like marine mammals, turtles, things like that at risk. That's something that a lot of people are more familiar with.
Yes.
Seabirds tangled in nets, ropes, and lines and stuff like that. Turtles, causing them to suffocate, starvation, and things like that. So it's a very, very important issue to be looked at, something to be controlled, and we just want to ensure that persons are aware of the effects of leaving gear at sea, not reporting lost gear, and things like that.
So what is being done right now to combat this present situation that you just spoke about?
So now I'll have the director to touch on that.
Okay, great. So as we said, it's a very important issue, and we want to tackle this issue head on in 2024, and that is why we are on here this morning. In terms of addressing the issue, what we have been proposing for a while now, right, is the use of what we call biodegradable panels. Okay, so on the fish pot itself, there's a panel where the fisher would normally open to take out his fish. All right. So what we are proposing, if fishers start to use what we call a biodegradable twine to attach the panel, right? If that fish pot happens to get lost, the panel now that is being attached by this twine, once this biodegrades, then the panel falls off.
How long does it take to biodegrade though? Because what if a fish goes in today? Can he get out tomorrow?
This twine in particular, this is a 2 millimeter jute twine. We have not done any actual observations of this, but based on literature, experiments have been done with different material, along with hemp and sisal, several natural fiber ropes. But this takes roughly 15 to 21 days to biodegrade, because while it's soaked, it's not exposed to the air, which causes it to break down. But because these are plant fibers, they still get looser and looser over time. So in 15 to 21 days, which is actually the average soak time for a fish trap. So if you don't come and take your trap at the time when you would usually go and take a trap, the fish that's in there, it has a chance to escape.
survive.
And then you can
Okay.
just replace this every
Correct.
time.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes, correct. So this is very important. All right. So as we go into 2024, we will be building on what we have done in the past. Right. So we will continue to educate our officials. Right. Do training, show them how to use this biodegradable twine with regards to the panels. And our hope is that sometime next year, once we've gotten the buy-in of our officials, all right, then we are in hope of making this twine mandatory on all our fish pots. It is a way of conserving our biodiversity, our marine life, all right, and it is a way of also protecting livelihoods because our fishers are able to benefit in the long run because marine life is remain rather than being caught unaware. Okay, so that is very important.
I hear
Going
2024. What kept you from accomplishing this year? Or previous years? Because I'm
Well-
sure this is a problem that's been ongoing. Am I correct?
Yes, it's
Okay.
been a problem that has been ongoing, right? You see, it's a building process,
Okay.
right? So over the years, we have been building towards this, okay? But we believe now 2024 now is a period of time when we will finally make it happen, all right? And it becomes mandatory, that is well accepted by our officials, that they have the proper education and understanding, and they're willing to do it. So that's the whole point. So over the years, we have been building towards this time, right?
Okay.
Dealing with our fishers and our stakeholders, sometimes it takes time to get
Okay.
people on board. So we think that next year is a year for sure.
Okay, I have one more question before we move on. You say 2024. How early in next year will this be implemented?
I'm looking at the third quarter,
Okay.
but we're going to be starting consultation from January.
Okay, good stuff.
We're going to be underground from January.
Okay.
Just to inform you, we have a project that is on stream, right? And it's at the point of implementation, and that is the Coast Fish Project. And what the Coast Fish Project is, it is doing projects in order to enhance and improve co-management in the coastal areas, right? And that is between coastal communities, the Department of Marine Resources, working together. And we believe that this biodegradable panel project is is a project that would help to build that co-management and and to also put this further out there in the
Okay.
media and into acceptance in our fishing communities. Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So you gentlemen spoke about a week of activities. What have you accomplished thus far, and what is there that's still to come?
Good. So on Saturday, what we had, our minister, he made his World Fisheries Day address, right? That went out on Saturday. As well as on Saturday, what we had is a beach cleanup in Nevis, right? For those who don't know, the Department of Marine Resources is a federal department. So it's 2 offices. Okay, so that's what was done on Saturday. On Sunday, we had our worship service at the Ebenezer Over Church. And in the afternoon, we had a mega big fishing tournament. Okay, and somebody called me this morning and said that tournament was fulfillment for me.
Yeah,
I
nice.
had a great time. Okay, so
Was that a fisher? Or
No,
was that a fisher or a patron?
A media personnel.
Oh, okay, nice.
Somebody from the media said, "Oh my
Okay.
God, that was so fulfilling." All right, because I guess some people never see the type of fish that was caught, the size of the fish,
Yeah.
and so on. So it was a great
I
tournament.
heard one of those fishes were 450 pounds.
Plus.
Yeah.
Wow, look
Plus.
at that.
Plus.
Old Road constituency number 4 has the best fishes, according to what I heard.
Yes, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, I think I should be neutral as a director, but they do have a lot of skill, experience, right? And of course, those in Nevis as well, and so on.
So was this event bigger than past ones, or you won't be?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Maybe, but for me, I mean,
Mr. Sadler,
Mr.
anything
Sadler,
to
Mr.
add?
I
Different.
reserve my comments.
Mr. Sadler, which one of the fishing communities are you from?
I'm from Sandy Point,
okay.
traditional fishing community. As well.
Okay. So the Sandy Pointers didn't get to boast this year. It's all about Old Road.
Unfortunately.
Okay, next time.
Very good.
And what's next?
So, well, Monday, we had Wear Blue Day, which was yesterday. So we all came out in our blue in support of the World Fisheries Day. So we wore blue, and that went off very well as well in the ministry. So today is Media Day, and we are here at WINNFM, Island Tea. Okay,
Be glad that you chose us.
Of course. So we're happy, and we just really wanted to come here to let the country know what the Department of Marine Resources is doing. Okay, the goal of the department is to transform the sector. We're not just here to continue what has been done in the past, but we're at a point where transformation is needed. Okay, so we're going out and we're trying our best in 2024, going beyond, but we really want to have the energy going into the year. So we're happy that we had this week of activities to give us that push. Okay, so tomorrow now, which would be Wednesday, we will be having a staff development seminar, just to really uplift this staff and give them some pointers of dealing with conflicts and so on.
Get that energy going. Next day.
What type of energy are we talking about, Mr. Sattler?
Just to be motivated. As the director mentioned, that the goal is to transform the sector. It's not a one-man, a two-man, a three-person job. You need all of the staff to be on the same page. You need that energy to be transferred amongst people so that we don't burn out 2 months down the road, So we want to ensure that everybody is geared up and ready to make that push.
And play their part.
And play their part.
Okay.
Correct.
Good stuff.
Good. Perfect. So on Thursday now, we have school talks. So we are inviting schools. We have invited schools to come from preschools, primary school, high school, as well as the CFBC college. We should be reaching out to them to have them come in, and we're going to be telling them about what we do.
So where are they coming to, the fisheries?
They're coming to the fisheries as well as our department, which is the administrative building on the Bay Road.
Yes.
Okay. So they're going to be meeting staff going to be telling them. We're going to have showcases and so on. They come and they see, and we explain to them what we do, all right, what our plans are, right, and even how they can play a role in terms of dealing with beach cleanups and assisting and being a voice, being that youth voice to say, okay, then we have to protect our marine environment.
Indeed.
Good. And Friday is our
fish
fry.
Food day.
Fish fry Friday. All right. And I really don't want anybody to miss it. It's more of after work line.
Okay.
It's an after work line.
So we're taking it to the fisheries again.
We're taking it at the Basse Fisheries Complex.
Okay.
So we would have grilled fish, fried fish, lobster at great prices. I mean, I don't expect it to be more than $45 for a lobster meal.
But what if the lobster is worth more than $45? We can't tell the persons that went out there and worked so hard in the waves that we only want to give them $45.
Thank you.
No. Well, based on the average, we average it to be about $45.
Okay.
All right?
Public don't get me. I'm just advocating for the fishers.
Well, but the fishers have already been taken care of, right?
Okay,
at
good
government
stuff.
end, because we normally buy fish from the fishers. Okay, so they are happy already. Yes, so, and we're expecting
fish burgers.
Fish burgers.
Fish balls.
Ooh.
Fish fingers.
Good.
All local fish.
Our local fish.
From the Basse Fisheries.
From the Basse Fisheries Complex. All right. We would have hoped to have some diamondback squid there as well, because we've been promoting diamondback squid for a while.
I have no clue what's a diamondback squid. You see my face? What's a diamondback squid?
So it's what is considered medium-sized squid. It's one of the largest species of squid. It's found throughout the world. It's a species that has not been commonly targeted here. I mean, you don't know what it is, so it's not something that the general public is familiar with. But it's a species that we've been looking at, that if fishers target this, it could supplement their other activities. And something they can catch all year round. So we did some promotions recently at the last night market. It went well. We did
with the diamondback squid.
Yeah, we gave out some samples, and people were actually ready to purchase.
Tastes good.
Even though it was free.
So it was like you did it in a South style?
No, we did it as balls,
deep
diamond
fried
fish balls.
And then you had sauce options that you could dip and try.
Shucks, I missed that night
come out
market.
on Friday. You have an opportunity on Friday.
What time on Friday though?
It's going to be from 4. We start from 4 p.m.
Okay.
Right, going all the way to 10 p.m. in the evening.
Real after work. Like,
Real after work.
Oh,
Let your hair down, take your jacket off.
Come and enjoy yourself. So
Indeed.
we want to invite the whole general public, all the different departments, especially in private sector, come out at the Basse Fisheries Complex for Fish Fry Friday with the Department of Marine Resources. Come and have a great time.
And Friday culminates everything.
Well, on Saturday we have our final beach cleanup.
Okay.
We keep cleaning the beaches.
And that will be over here this time in
It's
St.
going to be in
Kitts.
St. Kitts.
Okay,
yes.
good
So
stuff.
the final activity would be a beach cleanup, and that would be in St. Kitts.
And what's the beach so that for those of us that are interested, and what's the starting time?
It's Majors Bay and Cockleshell.
Okay.
Yes, so we
So
do 2 beaches.
2 beaches, okay.
So once persons have registered, you could come to the department. The information is supposed to be available on the Department of Marine Resources Facebook page as well.
Okay.
So you register, transportation could be provided and stuff like that. And then once we have what the numbers are, then we just split up on the beaches.
Okay. And what time would the cleanup start?
7.
Oh, 7 sharp.
Yeah,
Okay.
as early as possible before the sun gets too hot, and then of course if you'd like to, you could take a dip afterwards. After your hard work on the beach, you should be able to enjoy it.
So how has the beach cleanups been going in St. Kitts? Has the volunteer bodies been big enough, or do you wish to implore persons to come on board to help make it even bigger?
The more hands, the merrier. But
Okay.
usually we partner with other entities.
Department of Environment.
Yeah, the Department of Environment, as well as community groups. Anyone who wants to
Schools.
be socially responsible, you're welcome to come out. You can say, okay, hey, we want to clean this beach, and we would assist. Provide transportation. We would assist with getting the trash moved to the dump. We also do categorizations. The Department of Environment. So you look at exactly what is found on the beach. So when you're advocating, the do not litter policies and stuff like that, we get to show people that, it's a lot of household stuff here. So, when you go to the beach, you take, as someone put on some boards, I think it was the St. Kitts Sea Turtle Monitoring Group, they had some boards on Majors, but it said, leave only footprints.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good when people come out and help out. So the more hands, the merrier, as many community groups, NGOs, CVO, civil society groups, we're willing to partner with you guys.
Okay, we have a call coming in, so clearly someone wants. Okay, let's see. Okay, we had 2 calls earlier, but okay. So, marine, you said it's marine. What do you call it? Marine
Resources.
Marine Resources Day.
Department of Marine Resources.
Okay, let's try the call again. Caller, go right ahead.
Miss Wankechiado. All right. Greetings forward. We extending the greetings to your guests. We want to say, Irish Fisheries Day, and all the best with your week of activities, Okay. We not put no fish in our reality dish, but we have a concern. And we just hearing the beach cleanup thing. We are clean too much, man. Because the nastiness more than the cleaning, We doing the rain, The amount of things we see are run to the sea. We know some of them things they are poisonous. As people in the fishing industry, and fish is supposed to be food, you all should share that concern and go much further in preventing these whole heap of sitting, too much for me to mention, to go to the sea, even in our space, in our space, I think it's a Nevis. Yeah?
Right.
The world should be doing that. But let's start here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Yeah? And the more responsible in stopping in this nastiness that goes to the sea. Ends up in the sea, please. We'll hang up and listen to your response, but we are imploring you all
to apart from the cleaning, because as we said before, the nastiness is more than the cleaning and the type of things they see going to the sea. I mean, blessed God. Thanks for hearing us.
Thank you so much for the comments, and thank you for wishing us well with Fisheries Week going forward. So what the caller is saying is very important. He said that the nastiness is far more than the cleaning, and I believe I could attest to that. Right? I sometimes feel very disgruntled when I see big people leaving trash on the beach, throwing it down anywhere on the beaches.
I myself.
Right? And the department's agenda going forward is that I don't even want to see a plastic on the beach. So it calls for us to be, as in like, tough in terms of that the population knows that, okay, it is not allowed.
But how many more times do we have to tell the population, though? Because they know that we depend on the beaches for tourism. So why are you messing up what provides for you?
You know, sometimes it's enforcement that is needed so that we could put across a point. Right?
So fines.
A lesson, fines and so on. That is important, right? But we also have to continue to educate the population, educate the... And that is why we want to be very much into the schools, because they are the future.
Yeah, and
if they become more conscious of the marine environment and our environment, we expect them to do better, right? But there are definitely people in our population that are very sinister and don't care about the environment and the beaches, and so they don't care, right? And that is why we have to do our part in terms of cleaning the beaches, all right? But we also need to, you know, put in fines and be serious on it, and moving forward. So he talked about there are projects that I know of that are being established to try to mitigate the amount of land waste, garbage and stuff, and going into the sea, right? Those I can't speak on now, right? But we are aware of it, and I believe that something will be done far better going forward. What I've already started discussion about is that that for next year, hopefully, that we have proper looking bins that are aesthetically pleasing, right, in the beach areas, that people could use them, put their trash in, right, and that's in Majors Bay, Cockleshell Bay, White House Bay, and so on, right, and I believe that will go a long way, right. I already spoke to the Department of Environment about it, and they are on board as well, and that is something that we're looking to put in place going forward.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, but you're not going to take your towel. Maybe you might leave your towel at the beach or flip-flop at the beach, but you're not going to take your cell phone to the beach and leave it at the beach. So why are you going to take items that had stuff in it and then just leave it at the beach? That doesn't make sense. And then you hang the big bags, and yet you leave those big bags for the mongoose and stuff that comes out at night to tear it up and mess up the beach.
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, we have to take
it is unacceptable.
Accountability.
Yeah, I mean, the people of the country deserve clean beaches.
Yeah.
It is where they go to relax.
But if they deserve clean beaches, then they ought to keep the beaches clean, because we are the same ones that are using it.
Exactly. So I must say that our department will do our best.
Yes.
Right, even with support of other agency, Department of Environment as well, to get our work done.
Actually, that was going to be my next question. So I guess there's an overlap between, say, the Parks and Beaches unit and your ministry,
Environment, the Department
in terms
of Health,
yeah.
and the Department of Marine Resources. They would, and as well as the Ministry of Tourism. So there would be overlap between all these agencies. So that's why I say it's about partnering. And plus the beaches belong to everyone. But I also just wanted to clarify that the beach cleanup is 6 a.m., not 7 a.m.
Okay, so 6 a.m.
So I just wanted to get that out there just to
the earlier the better, as you said.
Yeah, 6 a.m., not 7 a.m. on Saturday.
Okay.
Registration could happen at the Department of Marine Resources, as well via the Facebook page. I think the link for the farm should be on there. Department of Marine Resources, SCAN. Just come out, do your part, keep the beach clean. If you clean a spot, that's your spot,
Nice.
Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen. We've had the Director of Marine Resources, Randall Thompson, and also Officer Karim Sadler, as they celebrate the International Marine Resources Day.
World Fisheries Day.
World Fisheries.
World Fisheries Day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, thank you for what you do, and you're always welcome.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for having us.
Okay.
You're certainly welcome, and you need to come back in 2024 and let us know where you're at with the first thing that you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ghost fishing.
Yeah,
Just
ghost fishing.
Yes, we will, and many more things.
Okay,
All
good
right.
stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Okay, great. So, Kortensia, it was nice. It was real. It's always real hanging out.
Always.
With you.
Yeah.
So, I look forward to tomorrow.
To tomorrow, yeah, and Thursday, and then
Thursday.
I'm out again.
And then you're out again. and then I have to wait until next week Tuesday. One more. Then like I said, I have to wait until next week Tuesday.
Yeah, next week Tuesday again. But the time runs fast because who would have known? It was Thursday just the other day, and look, it's Tuesday again.
It's Tuesday again.
Shucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a good day. I really enjoyed the topics. I enjoyed our guests. I'm glad I actually wear some blue, so I don't feel too left out, you know. Yeah, but I was wearing the blue with intention for the Men's Month because we celebrated International Men's Day on Sunday. Yeah.
Did you hear the program yesterday? Money Matters.
No, I was supposed to look at it, but then I got busy doing
It
chore
was pretty
stuff,
good,
you know.
actually. Yeah.
So I'm gonna listen to it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember to put my phone in my bag tomorrow.
Yes, do that. yes.
I hope the
Please.
Federation enjoyed what we offered
Please.
today, and we look forward to your
Yeah.
continued support. And see you in tomorrow on a fresh island tea. I'm hoping to get some bush, so we could really have some local.
Yeah, really, rather than just sitting in there being an empty prop, right?
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna set it up.
Okay. All right. Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put